Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Gas Station. This is JR.
This is Donovan. This is episode 3.
How you guys doing tonight? We are doing great. We got a bunch of really cool stuff that we want to talk to you guys about tonight.
We're going to have a guest tonight, a friend of mine who used to be my neighbor when I lived up north, and he's going to talk to us about one of our topics, and he's going to kind of talk with us and shed a little light and see how things actually are. Don't want to ruin it, but it's going to be a really, really good show, and kind of
Enjoy.
excited to make this. And
First thing we have to talk about, guys, is Donovan found this really cool thing that apparently people are doing, and I've only ever heard about this happening in like action movies, cool stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that. But it's totally awesome. Why don't you explain to everybody what bonsai skydiving is?
okay, yeah, bonsai skydiving. From what we've heard and from what we've read about, what it is,
Awesome.
it's an extreme sport where if you fuck up once, you're dead.
It's like parachuting,
It's skydiving to
master
the
level.
extreme.
Master
Yeah,
level for sure.
it's over 9,000.
Oh my god.
It's
I wouldn't do it. I want to go skydiving really bad.
yeah.
I would not do this.
No, pretty much what it is
I would not do this ever.
first you get in the plane and you throw the parachute out first, and then you have to catch it.
You jump out after it,
You
basically.
jump out after it. So that's what we mean by if you fuck up once, then you're pretty much dead.
You know what's funny to me about that is I've had nightmares, and literally like people are doing this for fun, but I've had nightmares where I'm like on a plane that's going down, and people are throwing them out, and everybody's like, "Oh no!" and jumping after them. That sounds like a nightmare to me. Like,
Well, see, in my opinion, if I was in a crashing plane, I would do everything that I possibly could to get out of the plane.
for sure. And I jump
Because
after.
I don't know,
Okay, yeah.
it's just kind of like, can you scoot over just a
Yeah,
little?
I got you, man.
Just I don't know. I just wouldn't like the idea of being trapped in a box, falling to my death. Like
For sure.
I would, and
No, that's and do people survive plane crashes normally?
there have been people. There was actually a guy who landed a plane in the Hudson River, like a
Well,
crashing
yeah, I
plane in the
remember
Hudson
that.
River, and like
I remember that, but he landed it a little bit. Like it wasn't a full-on crash. Like,
Yeah, it was a crash.
well, yeah, he crashed. Like
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
that. Well, yeah, he did crash, didn't he?
Yeah, it was
People
a crash.
died in that. Didn't
No, everybody survived.
Did everybody
Yeah,
survive
he
that?
actually was able to
Huh,
save
shows
everyone.
how much I know. Shows how much I pay attention to everybody.
Yeah, he was actually able
For
to
sure.
survive that whole ordeal, and
But
he
now
saved
just
everyone's life. Like he's a hero.
if I get the option between wearing the parachute and jumping out after it,
Yeah.
if that's an option,
I'd rather wear the
I'd rather
parachute.
wear it.
I'd rather
I'm
wear the
not gonna lie,
parachute.
I'd rather wear it.
Mm.
And I'm down for crazy shit, you know.
Mm.
I'll go do that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
stuff, but that's
That's a little too
extreme.
extreme.
Like
That's
base jumpers, to me, like that's already extreme. The people who do it off of, like basically they run off of skyscrapers, jump, and immediately pull their cords.
oh yeah.
Because if you wait too long, you won't catch enough wind or something, and you'll die. So
You'll fall, you'll die, you'll either. Did you know there's actually been reports of people who've fallen from like doing like
base
skydiving,
jumping and
like
whatnot.
not even base jumping, like skydiving. There are people who survived
The falls,
the falls, like their parachutes didn't deploy, but they
and that's
survived.
insane
That's
too.
what
How
I'm
did
saying.
that
That's
happen?
a
Oh,
long
that
distance.
sends chills. Like thinking about what that's like to hit the ground. I'm sure you don't feel it. I'm sure you hit the ground and you were gone. Like
Yeah.
you were somewhere for a while.
But that's just one of those luck things. That's one of those things that like
However you landed.
it's you got lucky.
Oh, that's
Time to
insane.
turn your life around. Reevaluate every one of your decisions.
For sure. But I don't think I'll ever try base jumping. I want to try skydiving.
Mhm.
Don't think I'll ever try. I might try bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping sounds kind of cool. You just have to go with the right people, I think, because I've seen some stuff where it's just like the cord's too long. I would have to make sure that the person's an expert.
Right.
Um, but that also brings us into our next topic that I wanted to get to is that it's in recent news how there was a missing plane.
Which was found.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that. At least
Yeah.
we totally didn't lose jumbo jet.
Yeah. Do you know if anybody if their people had died?
I don't. All I heard was that they were found somewhere like off the coast of Vietnam, I think, and just how do you lose a plane in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. It's not
Really?
like it's just like a mini one person plane. It was this plane was built so that it could travel across seas. So it's a big plane.
Well, I get that, maybe it went down in the water and sunk and it's gone. But were there no I don't know.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't pay that.
there should be like a distress signal that they should be able to, like, at least be able to transmit. Unless, I mean, if it did go underwater, then that's kind of understandable. If it, like, was completely submerged and there was water inside the plane, it
Right.
could cause electrical problems.
I should have totally paid attention more to this story because it blew my mind. I thought that was something crazy to talk about because I lose everything, everyone. Literally.
You lose a plane. You have to. That's another one of those that's over 9,000. Like, you done goofed. Like,
You done goofed.
that's the only way to describe. Like, man. All right.
I mean, but I literally I'll set a hat down on
Yeah.
the table
Okay.
and
So
walk
this.
past, and I'll literally come around and telling everybody, "Where's my hat?
The other
Where did
day,
that go?"
there was like 2 days ago when I was over here, and you're like, dude, where's my phone? Call my phone. It was in your hand.
Oh, I couldn't find that bitch to save my life though.
Yeah, well, okay, so apparently it was a Boeing, a Malaysian Airlines Boeing 777-200ER take, so yeah, that was,
That picture's a
that had,
big plane.
that's
That's a very
a big
bitch,
plane,
guys.
and that's a transport plane,
Passengers
there
and
were
whatnot.
239 people on board.
They say where they found it.
Um,
Landed
these are
in
just theories of what happened
and
to it. They say it landed in the Andaman Islands. It could have landed in the Andaman Islands.
I don't know. Point being, that's some crazy shit. Everybody just.
It could have flew to Kazakhstan. These are just what this says. It's just theories of what happened. That they could have flew to Kazakhstan. It flew south. The Taklamakan Desert in northwest China.
So basically anywhere. That's
Anywhere,
what they're saying.
anywhere in the Asian region, anywhere from
Because they were going to Malaysia, obviously.
yeah, it was from Malaysia and everything, but they're talking about, I guess it's India. I know the country of India was looking for it, and yeah, there was a lot of search parties that were going on. Another, just my only thing is like just the search for it was just kind of, I don't know, it was a little ass backwards to me. How like just I don't know, like they searched everywhere. They were talking about how they searched in huge like pretty much in two directions. I think it was going towards the west, but like northwest and southwest looking for it.
Right.
And they expanded over, like, I think they said 5 different countries and over a vast amount of ocean and still couldn't find it.
Which that's it. But then again, think about it. If it had crashed in the ocean and had sunk.
Oh, here's another one theory that could have happened. It said the plane hid in the shadow of another airliner.
Very unlikely.
Well, this is what it says. Aviation blogger Keith Ledgerwood believes that the missing plane hid in the radar shadow of Singapore Airlines Flight 68. The Singaporean airliner was in the same vicinity as the Malaysian plane, he argues. It becomes apparent as I inspect the SIA-68's flight path history that the MH370 had maneuvered itself directly behind the SAI, which is, I'm guessing, the SAI-68, I'm guessing is the Malaysian Airlines. At approximately 1800 hours UTC, I'm guessing that's some type of time zone that's
For sure.
like over by Malaysia in the Asian area. Over the next 15 minutes has been followed, and has over the next 15 minutes have been following the SAI-68. He believes that the Singaporean airliner would have disguised the missing plane from radar controllers on the ground. It is my belief that the MH370 likely flew in the shadow of the SAI-68 through India and Afghanistan airspace. It was flying dark without a transponder. I don't know. There's always the possibility, though. There was a struggle. One of the hardest things to account for is an explanation is that the way the plane flown erratically, it flew far above its ceiling, flying at 45,000 feet, before later flying very low. Big fluctuations in altitude suggest that there may have been a struggle, says someone, I don't know how to pronounce the name, post 9/11 cockpit doors have been strengthened against the possibility of hijack, but there's still scenarios where access could be gained. The passengers were deliberately killed by decompression. The plane will take off again to be used in a terrorist attack. These are just some theories.
Right.
I'm not saying I believe in any of these. but that's still some crazy shit. Yeah, okay, this is pretty much where I'll show it on the screen, like the extensive area where they have searched for said plane.
I don't know if they'll be able to see that. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, this is just what we've seen. So like what they've searched. You said that you said that it was on the news that they had found it.
That's what I was told. Let me look it up real quick.
Uh,
Yeah, you look it up.
I feel it. Did they find the missing plane?
So while he looks that up, we've got one on here, guys. This is just nuts. When I saw this, I about went ape shit. It's incredibly cool. So you picture this, like you're working all day, guys, and you know you're working out in the sun. You're working with heavy shit. You're working in your old T-shirt that's just ratty and torn and whatnot, and your shirt rips, fucked up, looks bad, looks really bad. So you take that shirt off and you're like, oh, well, this is gonna, don't really mind not having the shirt, but now if it rains, anything like that, oh well. Now, this is just pretty cool though. You go to your truck, you grab out your little can here, you shake it up, you spray this liquidy foam stuff on your skin, kind of paint it on yourself, give it a few minutes, and it literally turns into a t-shirt.
Oh, you're talking about the spray on clothes.
The sprays on clothes. The spray on clothes. It's insane. Literally, look up spray on clothing on YouTube. Great video when it was shown. I think that's amazing.
Oh yeah, just that, like you can actually wear it again. You can reuse it, and
You
I
can
guess
wash it and everything.
if you get the what it is, it's mixed with some type
It's like a solvent that makes it dissolve back into the liquid form.
Yeah, and then you
use it
can make
again.
a shirt, another shirt. Like you
Yep.
can, this is an unlimited possibility. You can wash it, you can wear them again. Like you can take them off, you can put them on. Like and some of the designs, like they used it in spray paint cans, not spray paint cans, but like paint guns and shit like that.
Yep.
It was actually quite interesting, and it came out like as it was coming out, and it started to hit the body and everything. It kind of looked like it was a liquid. To be like the way that it looked like a can. Somebody was spraying you with a can of silly
Pretty
string,
much.
but like with thinner like a thinner stream. But like as it like started to like hit your body and everything, and the solvent started to evaporate, then it started to actually look like like a cloth like material, like a shirt that I'm wearing now.
And it shows the girl, like they show the people there, painting her with the shirt and everything, and then they show her a few minutes later and she's tugging on it like this, and she's like, see,
Yeah, she's
it's
like
here,
one guy.
it's on me.
They did one guy and like he actually took the shirt off afterwards. Like it didn't
Yeah.
show any like them washing it, so I'm not exactly 100% sure about that one yet. But I mean,
my question is how thin is the shirt really?
well, I mean, if you put on more layers, like if you were to spray on more layers.
Yeah, I mean, could you spray it on top of the shirt itself though?
Oh yeah.
I would imagine so, right?
Yeah.
And just make it like you can make a jacket if you wanted to, if you
Oh
spray
yeah,
on
just
enough
fucking
layers.
if you wanted to make a hoodie, I'm like the way that I was thinking about it, because I know Connor made a joke. Our friend Connor made a joke about
Yeah.
it and everything. Just
I think you
get
could
some
do
like
it for,
aluminum,
like-
get some like aluminum foil, and like make
I
wrap
don't
it
even
around your
think-
head so it's like a flat surface, and then spray.
Yeah,
it.
'cause you probably don't want it on your hair.
Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want it on my hair, so you put like
Well, I
aluminum
mean,
foil
even if
around
you
your
put
head.
a small helmet of some sort on,
Mm-hmm.
just anything to kind of cover your hair region, and then did it over that.
Oh yeah.
As long as it connected here,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure it would do it.
Oh yeah, that'd actually be a pretty cool idea.
I mean, you could do all kinds of. You could make gloves with it. You could literally just be like.
Yeah, like probably with a spray gun, but eventually, give it time. Who knows? It might be in the spray cans and shit. I mean, I've seen weirder things. They make fucking chalkboard paint, where it's paint and you can paint shit with, and it's like you can write on it like with chalk, and it's like a chalkboard and shit. There's like glow in the dark, all kinds of glow in the dark paint nowadays, and all this other.
All the weird
shit's
shit.
getting so weird.
It is for sure. I was actually, just on a quick side note, speaking of weird, I was watching, because we were at the dentist today, 'cause my girlfriend Alicia, she had all 4 of her wisdom teeth extracted today. Very painful, she's in a lot of pain. While I was in the orthodontist office, they had a video of how it was made on, and they were showing how fillings and things like that were made and whatnot. And it's incredible, these machines, and I want to look up how, like, I know the general idea basically of how they work, but I really want to look into it. They're, the people operating them, I think, are called machinists, but basically they get the drawing and the design for what the object needs to be, and they program a machine, right?
Oh yeah.
With measurements, and they put the object they wanted to carve and slice down in there, and literally, like, you can take a figure of it. Key copy machines do this to a degree at Walmart. Literally, like, you stick it in there, and they have this little rod that comes around and traces a line of it, and records a digital image on the computer.
And then it cuts to that digital image.
Yeah, it literally, even if it knows the tiniest little jag goes up, it knows to go up. And it literally just sits there and, like, spins around really fast, and it just carves off. You'll see it, like, touch, tap, carve this, carve that away, till it's a fucking tooth. At first, it just starts buffing off a lot, and then you see it, like, back off, and come.
That's actually really cool.
And it's like, they're really cool, and I just think it's cool that we have machines that can literally, like, I get that it's basically.
So whose teeth are we, like, I wonder whose teeth are being used as the model?
Well, your own, like, it's for, like, a filling of your own tooth or something, you know? They
Okay.
take a mold of your mouth, I'm sure, and I don't remember the whole process, but it was very cool to see, and I was glad that I got to watch that, for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And if you've never seen a How It's Made, have you ever watched that?
I used to watch How It's Made all the time.
I watched How It's Made, Bagpipes. One of the coolest ones I've ever absolutely seen. It was really interesting and really cool to see how they make those.
We're going to use the sheepskin.
I mean, down to there's pieces in there you would never even, if you think it's nothing but a couple wooden sticks stuffed in a bag, you're incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
You're incredibly wrong. There's reeds and other pieces that make it sound the way that it sounds and whatnot. And
oh yeah, speaking of how it's made, have you ever heard of a 3D printer?
yeah, the things that are supposed to be, like, I've seen them now. With their human faces, they'll print out, like, heads or whatever.
Yeah, they'll print out heads, they'll print out complex, like, designs and figures
castles
and everything.
And whatnot that they have made on the computer.
A guy made the first gun, usable gun, using a 3D printer.
What?
Yes, it's made of metal and everything.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's made, and he even made the bullets.
That's cool.
He made the bullet and the shell casing, and pretty much, like, it was a simpler one, the one that I seen a video on it, and it was for this place that only did plastic work, and it was like a powder, and like this machine comes over and it adds some type of, like, I'm guessing a solvent or something to this powder, and when it adds it to the powder, it creates it, and then they spray it with, like, it creates whatever you put it into the machines, print it, and, like, scan it and everything, and it'll start to work it out. And then if you want it to be to be usable, like they made a wrench. They made with moving parts that they didn't have to do separate pieces. It was all one piece, and they had moving parts, and then they sprayed it with this resin over top of it, and it made it as hard as the real thing.
Right.
Like, it made it so you could actually use this wrench that you just made out of a powder.
I think that's, well, have you seen the little, I guess it's basically a 3D printer. I read about it in a Game Informer magazine. I always read the little articles, I can't help myself. They're always really good. They have a little article in there about it's almost like a 3D printer, but you could put, like, this can right here, this, inside of it, and it's going to create you an exact duplicate of this can. Almost. It's just everything you make out of it, if I'm not mistaken, comes out as like a figurine of it. It's not an actual
usable piece. Yeah, see, with this, like, you could do this right here, put this into the machine, and it will scan the two. It'll scan the two pieces. It'll make it so that you can separate it, open it up, and close it, and everything.
Yeah, right on. I got you, but I mean, that's intense that, you know, technology and whatnot is getting to that point,
where we can make something out of nothing. Where they're trying to at this point, they're trying to do mimic human flesh and nerve tissue and everything else like that. That could make lives so much easier. And they could give people who aren't able to walk, like, it gives them the ability to walk.
I get that it does all that, but I'm just hoping that we don't ever put our full trust in science as a whole, you know, because
I see our world coming to a time where man and machine become one, where it's not just man, like, two separate individuals, man or machine. And I feel that eventually, if you give it time, because there's a lot of
God, I hope not.
But there's so many things that we already deal with, like, that we go through on a day-to-day basis with people, and you may not even know.
Well, I get that for sure.
Have you ever heard of a pacemaker?
Yeah.
It's like an artificial heart.
Yeah. Well, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I hope not, like, fully that's all we ever have to depend on, because machines break down. Enough machines break down, and that's solely what you rely on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It gives us the human aspect, but it also gives us the cyber aspect of the part that we're missing as humans, the part that we gain in this, say, it's like cybernetic or whatever, like, appendage that we would get afterward. Like, say, given time, like, you have some type of, like, nerve damage done to your hand, where you have a robotic hand and everything else like that that you're able to control, like new appendages and everything else like that.
But
Like
instead
a
of that being
prosthetic,
their
but you'd be able
aim,
to, but still be able to like move your hand.
if
And
I'm not
everything.
mistaken, they have prosthetics that you can still move and everything like that.
But they're very like they're
But still, like,
they're not the
if
same.
they could just save my hand, I'd rather do that.
Well, if I'm saying if they you have like all
Like,
you
I'm
have
just,
no
I'm
nerve damage,
hoping.
you have nerve damage throughout your whole hand, or they could just to
Do
the
you-
point where it could
Well,
just
like,
be.
we're making two different points. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm just hoping that it's never like the first answer, like, oh, let's always go to the machines because machines can tell us everything.
Oh yeah, no.
Machines
I'm not
can
that,
break, machines can be wrong, and that's why I keep a paper journal, like a paper
It's
planner of my events.
Yeah,
Because
it's not actually that the machine is wrong. It's that it could be a poor program designed by the maker, or it could be the user who is using the machine.
but that's still
Because
just,
the computer, it's like a computer. The computer only does what you're telling it to do, and if you're goofing up, it's not because
well,
the
they can still
computer's
break
wrong.
and they can still get viruses.
Oh yeah, they can still break and get viruses. And
So
everything. That's.
I'm just like, keep a hard copy of everything.
Oh yeah.
Keep definitely a. And I know all of you nowadays think that a hard copy means that a fucking flash drive that has everything
No, it's
that
fucking
you need.
retarded. Actual paper copies.
Yeah, like always do that. Of at least your important stuff. These smart printers that organize all your lives into one easy, manageable
The new neat desk
folder.
for 1995.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Oh yeah.
if I ever own my own business, that would be great to do that, and I might. But I guarantee you,
You'll have
somewhere those
separated paper
business
copies.
cards that I printed out will be in a box somewhere and hidden, so that if that computer ever crashes, I know I can go in there and be like, la 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 la, down the old Rolodex, and
Okay, and then you
find
just
out what
look,
I'm looking for.
or just if you have something to the point where you can just kind of look into, not just look into, but you can just go like you just open up a file cabinet and it's all alphabetical and it just.
That's what I'm saying. Just write on down the Rolodex, keep it going. So everybody loves a good crazy police story. Everybody does. And Donovan came with a great one this time. He was talking to me, and I must say it was a really good one. Why don't you share that one with the people, Donovan?
What's that?
The police story that you would come with about where they had to close off the road. Wait till you hear what they did.
This is some interesting jazz right here that I thought was quite funny. I don't know. Apparently there was a man in Ohio who had gotten his penis cut off in some type of accident. And this is up in Cleveland, Ohio, my hometown. Although this can only happen in Ohio. Apparently had his penis cut off by some assailant, and then the police had to close off a large section of a main road to try and help this man find his severed penis, his cock.
And can you imagine that, like, that embarrassing phone call to the cops, like,
Sir,
I need an officer out at 321 North Dakota Street, and they're just like, okay, what's the nature of your emergency? I lost my dick.
Yeah, so my dick was cut off.
I mean, like, I know it's around here somewhere, unless an animal's run off with it, but I need us to get a full search party out here for my dick. Like,
no, he was actually transported to the hospital, and then the police stayed there and looked for it for him.
those are good policemen. I'll give them that, because let me tell you what, that is far above their pay grade to be out there looking for somebody's dick. Okay? You couldn't pay me enough to be out there.
They deal with dicks all day, and now
you know
they
what?
just have
And
to
you
go
know,
with another
no,
one.
that is
But
their
this one's
job. They
real.
should have to do that, and especially after all the ones that are dicks. I hope that all the ones that were dicks had to go and look for a dick. That would be karma. But I tell you what, I wouldn't have picked that son of a bitch up. If I would have found it, I would have been like, there it is, guys.
Yeah, someone else can grab this.
Someone
I want to know who picked it up. Who was the first person to pick it up? And was he hesitant, or was he just like, oh man, I found it?
Alright, so I'm looking up some of these prosthetic limbs and whatnot, and there's some really advanced ones.
But
the movement's limited.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like one day, just give it time to the point where you
But
can
even
just
look
close.
at this one.
You can
Look
just
at how
close your hand as easily as you are now.
I would like to point this out. Look how she can contort that one. I'm sure that's not too limited. she can full on contort that into a V almost.
Yeah, but that's a lot different.
That's almost like what you're talking about, the aspect that they can maneuver them.
Yeah, you can maneuver them and everything where you like say if you're to lose an arm, but I'm saying like it's a lot different if you move an arm like moving an arm like this than to being able to grasp something, being able to hold
you're
something
talking like
and lift.
Star Wars, like Anakin when he gets his arm cut off, how he has that perfect robotic arm.
Yeah,
where
you gotta like give it time eventually.
Even he sits there and he goes like that.
To, like I can just come and grab this phone like I just did right now, and I don't have it like it. I don't have it like a separate limb or a different appendage, but.
I know it's sad, and I don't mean it in a really fucked up way or anything, but whenever dogs have prosthetic limbs, it's always kind of cute. It's always kind of like, oh, look at it.
Have you ever seen the dogs that have they're missing both their back legs?
So they have the wheels.
They have the wheels, man.
I always tell myself if I ever had one, I name it Wheels, just because I think that's great. Like everywhere you go, come on Wheels,
or like
let's
hot,
go.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod. Vroom, vroom, motherfucker.
Yeah, homeboy lost his dick. Did it ever say how he lost his dick? Did you find that? Try and look that up.
From what it was saying, he was attacked by some assailant or something like that, and he was the guy who I guess apparently cut this dude's dick off. Like,
oh shit! So I would like to just point out to people in Ohio, watch out. There's a mad dick cutter offer running around, hacking people's gonads off.
No, but they found him. They had him in custody.
Oh, do they? Okay, well rest easy, Ohio. You're good again.
No, but you have to be really pissed off at somebody. Like, I
the right to take their dick.
Like, what do you have? Like, I want to know how that went down. Like, did he just like, like grab it?
At least it wasn't in Florida. I can honestly say at least it wasn't in Florida. You know what? After having the guy who ate off homeboy's face and having everything else that happened with Casey Anthony and George Zimmerman, the last thing we needed was to be the place where people get mad and cut each other's fucking genitalia off. I had heard a story a couple years ago, and it was about a man, and he had a daughter who was underage, if I'm not mistaken. This is overseas, in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. Well, the dad owned a construction company, or not, like a lumber yard or something like that, where he had a bunch of wood saws and everything like that. Well, he found out that this guy that worked for him was sleeping with his daughter. So he got all super pissed off and whatnot, and he went to the bar with his friends, and they got super fucked up and everything like that. And I'm sorry. He called them and asked them to come over for a few drinks. They went over, had a few drinks, went and got this guy and cut his balls off. Cut his fucking balls off. You know what a good friend does? If Donovan, if you were to call me tomorrow, so fucking mad that you were talking about going and cutting somebody's dick and balls off, I would literally be like, dude, let's just go to the bar real quick. You know, we'll have a couple drinks. We're gonna go do that. But let's go have a couple drinks. Let's put a couple drinks in you.
We're gonna get drunk
and just
before we cut this dick.
No, and then just go relax. Like, get you to the bar. Like, something crazy's happened. We don't need to go cut a nigga's dick off, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like, so I would just, but to actually go through with it, I wonder, was it kind of like whenever you help your friends move, helping your boss cut someone's dick off? Did he invite you over with pizza and beer?
Yeah, what are we gonna do today?
Was he like, all right, guys, you help me do this, and I got pizza and beer tonight?
Yeah, if you help me do this, I will pay for booze and food.
Exactly.
Wait,
hey.
So and then you know that always goes in. What are we going to go do again?
What'd you rent? Thank you, baby. But I totally forgot what
Well, just pizza and beer and just go cut a
Oh yeah, and like all side notes apart. Message me, do something, but beer and pizza will get me to help you move like that. I'm just saying, beer and pizza. That's the way.
Yeah. So I know I've talked to you a little bit before. I'm going to have our guest going to be coming on here in a second.
Right.
But I heard about all of this crazy weather that's been going on up north. I guess they call it Snowpocalypse 14.
I'm so glad that's not when I was there. See, I was in Wisconsin just over 2 years ago, almost at this point, and the coldest I got it to whenever I was there was like -19, if I'm not mistaken, with the wind chill and everything, and that was cold as hell, people. That is cold as hell. It didn't stop snowing for like a day and a half one time. That is intense.
I'll read off some of the numbers once we get my friend on the phone. He's from, like I
I
said,
think he's throwing up. He's fucked up, baby.
like.
Lay down.
So here we go.
Love you.
We have our friend Cody. Cody, can you hear us?
I can't hear him.
How's it going, my friend?
Pretty good, actually. Just didn't hit him. Let's play Grand Theft Auto 5, honestly.
No, if you could just do me one favor, just
What's going on, Cody? This is JR. How you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, dude?
yeah,
Good. Nice to meet you, man.
you're on our this is our little podcast just to kind of fill you in.
The gas station.
Yes, we're called the gas station because we both work at a gas station.
Alright, hell yeah.
Alright, but the one thing that we were just getting onto the topic of is all the crazy ass weather, and because that you're still there up north, we wanted to just kind of have a first-hand experience, so, like at least hear from somebody who has a first-hand experience of what's going on up there.
Like, what do you mean to, like, hear, like, what, like...
How much snow is on the ground right now? Like, how many feet do you guys have?
Well, right now it's actually 50 degrees, which is, t-shirt and shorts weather.
Dude, I know how it is though.
Friday, actually, it was about 45, and I went on, like, a couple-mile run, actually. Like, it was that nice up here to us.
Nice.
Actually, and then, like, just last week, it was, like, the biggest blizzard we've had in, like, I guess, like, 10 years or something like that.
How'd
That's
that go?
crazy. These are just some of the numbers, and I saw these today. Cleveland, Ohio. This isn't even the most either. Cleveland, Ohio had 68.1 inches of snow this whole winter. That's over 5 feet.
Yeah, so I have a question. With all these different cities, for instance, like Cincinnati got 11.2 feet of snow.
No, that's inches. 11.2 inches.
11.2 inches. Columbus, Ohio got 27.5 inches of snow. So I have a question for you, Cody. Did this put a big damper on you guys' bonsai skydiving plans?
What plans?
We were talking earlier. But there's I guess an extreme sport that's gaining popularity, but it's called bonsai skydiving. Pretty much what you do is you get in the plane, you throw the parachute out first, and then you have to jump out and catch it.
Huh? Oh, hell no. My girlfriend, who's in really bad pain, manages to squeak up with, oh, hell no.
Yeah, fuck that.
Dude, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Like,
So for the viewers...
I'd probably, like, brown in my pants. Like, that wouldn't...
So for all the viewers here in the South, let us know, like, what do you do for fun whenever there's that much snow around? Like, I've lived up in Wisconsin a couple years ago, and the coldest it got with wind chill was, like, -19. But,
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, yeah, go ahead.
I tried to build a snowman, and it was probably the most crackhead-looking snowman.
Did it have, like, brown shit?
Well, I didn't really have anything, so I made his nose out of, like, I had a cup that I just went and I stuck in there, because we had, like, 3
a red
cups.
Solo cup?
No, it was like a beer mug type deal, sort of, that I stuck. And he wasn't very big because I couldn't get the whole method of...
Just rolling the snow, right? Did it kind of look like a tumbleweed?
Well, I was by myself, you know, I didn't have anybody there to help me, so he had sticks stuck in him and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. For everybody who's watching this is my friend Cody. He's still back there in Ohio, in my hometown. But, one thing though, Cody, tell him some of the crazy shit that we would go out and do, like, when it was wintertime and everything, how we'd always go out to that giant cornfield and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, we'd always go to that corporate snow. Like, I remember one time, me and Donovan here, like, we walked across, the ice, like, this ice...
Oh, yeah, there was one winter where...
onto this island out there.
Yeah, we had this huge reservoir. It was a man-made reservoir, and it was, like... it froze over really well. Like the ice was, I'm talking like at least this thick,
Right.
all the way throughout it. And well, through most of it, we were smart enough to watch out for like dark patches and everything, and we went slow. But we had completed this reservoir. It's huge, absolutely. I would say at least the size of your apartment, like this complex here.
Right.
And we literally walked across it. Like this
Nice.
whole lake, yeah, we walked across this whole lake, dude. And there's an island it's called Cattail Island in the middle of the lake, not the lake, the reservoir. And we walked all the way to it and everything. It was pretty cool. And,
We had whenever I was in Wisconsin. See, I was born in Thomasville, Georgia. I moved to South Florida when I was 4, and that's where I pretty much grew up. I moved to Arkansas and Texas for brief periods of time, but predominantly I lived in South Florida. So whenever I moved up to Wisconsin, you know, a little over 2 years ago, during the winter, that was a complete culture shock. I had been to, St. Louis with my stepdad before to visit, but this is a whole different breed of cold people. I wasn't used to it. We used to walk to work, and I was walking around by myself one time, and I guess they have these big vehicles that push all the snow off the parking lot onto the sides.
The snow plows.
The snow plows. Well,
Yeah, dude.
dude, they're big as fuck. Like,
well, the night
see these
before,
things? Like, they're the size of maybe double not double, but like
Well,
just
I mean, Donovan, like, remember, there are actually people up here that get, like, trapped under the fucking snow that, like, that comes off the side, like.
Oh yeah, there's the people. We've had people who've gotten killed. They suffocated because they would have people who built snow forts. There was one kid who had died because he lived up in like the Cleveland area, and he had built a snow fort, and it was like right on the edge of the road, and he wasn't quite sure if it was like along the road, if he was on the road or not, but he was just building this snow fort, and he was in the snow fort. And if you've ever been in like a thick like snow like
yeah, I know what you're
a
talking
snow
about.
type of like a tunnel or something like
Yeah.
that, the snow really does muffle the sound of a lot of things. Like you could like when
For sure, of course
and
it does. But what I was saying was,
but there's
they brushed off all that stuff on the sides, and the night before I had walked home from work, and I'd walked through the parking lot, through the field, and then to the neighborhood where our houses were. Well, I guess the whole night it had snowed a shit ton, like, oh, so much snow. When I came out the next day and I went to walk through that field, I literally sunk up almost to like my knees,
The
just
top of your
completely
knees?
down, and I was like, holy shit, I'm soaked now. I am freezing, and I have to be at work in like 10 minutes. I gotta run back home. We literally lived like a 5-minute walk away, but it's the fact that I gotta trudge back now.
Yeah, to go get a new pair of pants or something.
And
like
then
that.
come back up here freezing cold, change out the 3 layers that I have on, because remember, I'm from Florida, so where people who are wearing like 2 layers, I'm wearing 4 layers because I'm freezing.
Oh yeah.
It sucks so bad.
There's
but
one thing that I
It's
dealt
so
with.
gorgeous up there.
Yeah, there's one thing that I dealt with a lot. Was I would walk to friends' houses, and the bottoms of my pant legs, I would say at least up to my ankles, they would get soaked from the snow, and then you would be walking and everything, and as you continue to walk, not even that you would feel it, that you would be walking. By the time you got to wherever you were going,
You're so numb.
no, your pants would be frozen because they were wet, but then they got cold, and so then the water froze, and like you could literally knock on your pants and it would make a sound. It'd be like.
Yeah. Whenever you would walk places there, though, the snow is always above your feet. Like, you're always trudging through snow.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the places we always cut through the park to go to his brother's house, which always is laying down snow.
Oh,
and after so long, it will sink through your shoes, get straight to your socks. I used to wear 2 pairs of socks, and eventually, if we walked enough, it would sink through those, and your feet will just freeze to the point when you take those socks off, it hurts to walk on anything. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right, Cody?
Yeah, frozen socks.
Frozen socks. That bitches suck.
That shit
that is the
sucks.
worst. Like,
It hurts your feet when you take them off. I don't get how they do that. What kind of soup are you trying to eat? Okay, baby, be careful.
Oh, we're just Jared's talking to us.
I was checking with my girlfriend, guys. She's just in some pain.
Yeah, she had her wisdom teeth removed.
I mean, the weather that's going on, that's definitely crazy. I kind of wish I was there, though. I like the snow and everything.
Yeah.
I really do. I want to go.
Once you live up here, it just gets really annoying after a while, honestly.
Oh, I know. There were some days when I lived in Wisconsin that I was like, as much as I've never been around this, right now I just want it to go away.
3 times.
Could you say that one time?
Well, snowed almost every day, like.
Can you say that one more time?
I said last winter we had, it only snowed 3 times.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
It snowed like 3-4 times, and then by the time like the next morning, it would snow like usually at night, and by the time that like the morning came, it was just it would warm up so fast that like all the snow would melt. We had literally 3 or 4 days of snow.
Right.
And it was warm. Like you could walk outside, and it was really, really unusual. But you could walk outside in a jacket and be comfortable all day, even at night.
Right. See, whenever I lived in Wisconsin, it finally got down a little bit. The temperature did, or it warmed up to like, I'd say 55, 56 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were all out there in short sleeves and shorts. You know, it was insane. Whereas here, living in Florida, if it hits below 60, you know, you see
Everybody's
people's jackets.
freezing. Everybody's wearing jackets.
Oh, you see everybody with their heaters on in their cars.
Yes.
You know how many snow days we've had this year?
How many?
8.
8 snow days?
Yeah.
Damn. How many days did the state give you guys?
And Donovan, you know how strict Manchester High School is
Yeah.
about snow days.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second, Thomas.
All right.
How many topics do we have left?
I think we have
Just
we just have our last topic is the top one.
Alright.
Well, we're gonna get on to our last topic here, Cody.
You said hold on.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll wait for him to come back, guys. Our last topic we're going to talk tonight is a little bit more serious than some of the other stuff we talked.
Are you back? Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to be moving on to our final topic. You can hang around with us if you'd like.
Alright, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
What's the final topic about now?
The last thing we're going to go to tonight, guys, we're going to handle a little something stronger than that, something that very well may affect us, something very well may not affect anybody at all, depending on the outcome.
Exactly. What we have so far, it's the drama that's going on between Russia and Ukraine. That's some scary shit, to be 100% honest.
For sure.
That's some really scary and sketchy shit, and like I don't think we're hearing enough about it. I feel that like a lot of it is just kind of being brushed under the rug. Like
the thing is, what I see with that is it looks like what's his name? Is it Putin? Like
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like he's trying to just get the Soviet Union back. Ukraine. Like,
thank you.
Well, everybody already thinks that. But here's the thing.
Anything like that, like he's just trying to get the Soviet Union back. Because the thing is, Putin is like an old school, basically KGB agent.
Well, what makes it scary is that he's got the power, he's got the money, he's got the means to back his words up.
Definitely.
Whether they're hollow threats or not, he has the power to back them up.
Oh yeah.
But we ain't gonna do shit about it. Like.
And how about his little calling out America remarks? Everybody likes those, I'm sure.
Yeah. Did you hear about how he called out America?
No. What do you say about that?
When there was an interview that was
the Western elite.
Yeah, he didn't directly call out the United States, but what he said was that he's like, I have no worries about the Western elite interfering with this. Have you heard about the recent news that's been happening over there?
It's not their best decision or something like that.
Yeah, he's like it would be in their best in the Western elite's best interest to stay out of our problem or our like what they're going through. But did you hear about the recent news, Cody?
No, what's that?
Apparently when they you know how the soldiers have invaded Ukraine, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, they invaded the northern part, didn't they?
Yeah, the Crimean Peninsula.
Okay, yes, I know where that is. Yeah, exactly where that is.
They had set up voting booths in the Yes, listen to this. All right,
this is nuts.
Tell me this isn't some like Nazi regime type of deal like happened in fucking World War II.
Okay, well, Donovan, let me say something real quick.
Yes.
In Crimea, like the thing is, like Russia wants Ukraine also because you got to think the Black Sea would be their only naval port that's not frozen. Everywhere else around Russia, you got to think is fucking frozen.
Exactly.
Like north of Russia, that's frozen. You ain't getting any ships through that. Like, the only way you have any ships, like, in Europe or in the Mediterranean is through the Black Sea. Like,
Exactly.
that's what they want.
Well, see, here's the thing. A treaty signed in 1994 by the U.S. and Britain could pull both countries into a war to protect Ukraine if President Putin's troops cross into the country. Bill Clinton, John Major, Boris Yeltsin, and Leonid Kuchma, the then rulers of the USA, UK, Russia, and Ukraine, agreed to the Budapest Memorandum as part of the denuclearization of former Soviet republics after the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Technically, it means that if Russia has invaded Ukraine then it would be difficult for us and Britain to get out of going to war with them.
Exactly, because that was a treaty. It was an act, pretty much, that was passed. But here's what they were saying in the voting booth: is they were given one of two boxes to check. The first box says that it asked if they were a part of Ukraine that wanted to reunite with Russia, or the second box was for Ukraine, because Ukraine is already in the middle of a civil war right now, for Ukraine to go back to its original government, to where for what people are fighting the government for right now. So they have one of two choices: you can join Russia, or pretty much your guys are like, everything that you guys are fighting for is going to be like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're just going to make sure that you guys go back to the way that you guys were before.
Well, anyone who hasn't seen the pictures already, go and look up some of the pictures in the videos. The pictures of just the tanks lining the borders of these countries, just like waiting an attack, waiting orders to do something.
Oh, it's scary.
It's very scary a little bit once you see those videos. You're like, oh, well, people are getting ready.
Like, it took Russia 1 month to, like, mobilize its troops for the final push into, like,
because Russia's huge.
Like 1 month.
And they're communists. They can.
1 month, like,
It's pretty easy to assemble troops when no one has to vote on nothing. It's pretty much just like assemble.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Go now. If you don't, I seriously feel that Vladimir Putin is trying to become the next Stalin. That's the only way to describe it. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, definitely.
He rode through Europe on a white stallion bareback and was like, pretty much declaring that he was like, the next Tsar.
This is Scribbles, everybody, just so you know.
Yeah, but he was pretty much claiming that he was going to be the next Tsar, and like just a bunch of crazy. Plus, also the problems that are already going on in Russia, where I guess the whole like the gay rights and everything, gay lesbian rights,
I heard about that.
Where people are being like jailed for like I think they were saying like life sentences because they're gay and they're openly being gay.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Poor people. That's wrong.
Yeah,
there's
a group actually that is fighting. They've protested at every major event that Russia has done. They even protested the Olympics this year.
Nice.
And they're called Pussy Riot. And I'm not kidding. They're called Pussy Riot, and it was a band that started like, they were a band at first, but then they started like trying to fight for like lesbian, gay, and rights and everything. Like, good for them, and they've been jailed, and pretty much they were like they were given the choice. They were like, yeah, like you can stop. Like when they first got jailed, they were like, you can stop doing this, and we'll let you go, or we're just gonna keep you here in jail. And like they were like, no, we're not gonna stay quiet about gay and lesbian rights. He's like, that's not fair. Everybody should have that right, like to love who they want.
Right.
I think that everybody has the right to just be miserable if they want to be miserable.
Exactly. If you want to be miserable, be fucking miserable, but don't drag everybody else into it.
It's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty weird, honestly, I think. Like, something's totally about to go down.
Plus that missing plane, too. Nobody knows where the fuck it's at.
That's weird.
Wait, what?
Have you heard about that missing plane?
Oh, yeah, I heard about it.
Like, nobody can find a plane. Like, how the fuck how do you lose a plane?
Guys, I can't find a picture of the tanks, but it's very cool. If you get the chance, look it up on YouTube or something. That's what you showed it to me on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Donovan Buck. Donovan Buck.
Good job, baby.
If you go onto my Facebook page, I have a couple recent posts about them, about helicopters being mobilized.
We'll get it
about
up on our page too as well.
Yeah, just pretty much just tanks being mobilized in Poland to just, I guess, prepare themselves just in case, Russia tries to gain some more balls and it's like, okay, we're going to take Poland too. And then also just Russian attack helicopters flying into Ukraine, and then also military transport trucks.
Right.
Like 11, 12 military transport trucks driving from Russia to the border of Ukraine.
The video is just like you're watching the guy sitting in the car as he's driving, and he's driving past, and he drives past one of the big, and these are the ones that like with the canvases over them that transport so many troops at once, just those giant bench full of troops,
Exactly.
And he's literally driving past one, and then another,
and then another,
and then another,
all the
and
way
there's
up to,
like 11 or 12 of those fucking trucks, and it's
with probably like 25 soldiers, well, 25 to like 50 soldiers.
and weren't
in
they all
each one of those trucks
mobilizing to the coast to get ready to go,
be
right?
transported over to Ukraine?
Yep, that's intense. Like you mean like you just don't send that many trucks.
They sent 6,000 troops to Crimea.
Like that's insane.
6,000 ground troops to Crimea. That's not just like a little skirmish, and that's not like a little like, hey, you done goofed, like stop having a civil war. That's an act of war right there.
That's not like a hey, let's get together and go bonsai skydiving kind of thing,
Yeah, let's go bonsai skydiving, or
That's war. No.
I'm good on some bonsai skydiving though.
I don't know. Bucket list it.
Bucket list it. I'm gonna die anyway. I don't give
Play
a shit.
guitar. See the Louvre one time in my life. Go bonsai skydiving.
Go bonsai skydiving. And hopefully not die. But if you die, then it's cool because you're gonna die anyway.
Actually, put it last.
Yeah, put that one last.
Make that one last, everybody.
So like,
some advice. Before we go today, there's every so often I like to do a little a game review. We for those of you who haven't played it yet, South Park: The Stick of Truth, great game. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. There's 4 different classes, 4 different playthroughs. The only thing I can say is as much as they put into it, there's a good bit to do, and no, you probably won't beat it in one day, I'm sure. I wonder if I sat down and really tried if I could. I'm always taking so many breaks. Probably not. There's a good bit to do between getting all the friends and everything like that. But I wish the story itself had been longer. I wish there'd been a little bit more to that.
I'm sure, I wouldn't doubt that they're gonna have downloadable content where you can continue to play.
Well, I'm sure, but I'd wish that there was more differentiation between the classes. I was extremely satisfied with it. I pre-ordered the Grand Wizard Edition. It came with a little Cartman statue and everything.
It's like a 6-inch Cartman statue.
And all in all, I definitely give it, in all honesty, an 8.75 or a 9. I can't.
I was actually really surprised about it.
They did a good job on an RPG.
Exactly. Like I think that they really proved that from like the last game that they ever put out was like a kart racer for like the Nintendo 64.
No, the last 2 games they put out was actually a tower defense game. I want to find it. I don't know if it's on Xbox Live. Anyone who watches this, if you've heard of this South Park tower defense game, shoot me a link. Shoot me where I can find it, wherever it is. Either comments on here, comments on our Facebook page. Let me know where that is. I'd like to check that out. I don't know about you, but that definitely sounds pretty cool. A tower defense game with that.
Oh yeah.
But it was a really good game. Great story. It's kind of like watching an episode of South Park in like 7 episodes, and you're making the choices. You play as the new kid in town, and your goal is to make friends with the whole town, mind you, the entire town. And I don't know any of you who saw the 4 or 5 part episode for Black Friday, but they at the end of it they were like, look how much fun we had outside, guys. We don't need the game systems we all thought we did. We could play with this stick. And then it cuts away and it's like, buy South Park Stick of Truth on blah 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 date. So it was basically a 5-part episode just to open up for a commercial for the game. And then you play the game and it literally picks up from there. Like they're all dressed in like Lord of the Rings type armor and whatnot, and they're split up between Kyle and Stan are the Druid elves, and then Cartman and Princess Kenny are with Koopa Keep, and they're the humans, and Cartman's the Grand Wizard. And it was a really good game. It's really funny. If you don't like South Park, don't buy it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You're not gonna enjoy it. If you don't know if you like South Park, don't buy it.
Yeah, it's really offensive.
It's extremely offensive. There's an achievement called Too Far, and you get it for farting on the aborted fetus of a dead Nazi zombie baby. Or I'm sorry. You do it by farting on a Nazi zombie aborted fetus. So basically, a little shriveled up fetus that's just lying on the ground now. You fart on it, and it has like a little swastika armband on it, and they actually give you an achievement for doing that. They're like, good job.
So, does that sound interesting to you, Cody?
What, the South Park game?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm gonna keep playing it for a while. It's a lot of fun.
Alright, but I think we're getting to the end of our show. Dude, we
Definitely.
made it to our first hour show.
I know, I'm
Good
just shy
shit.
of, but we could keep going if we wanted to, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, but
We had a lot of good topics, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
We
Tell
want
your
to
friends.
thank Cody
Thank
for
you,
being
Cody.
on the phone with us.
It was great meeting you too, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. It was good meeting you too, Jared.
Alright, anytime that you want to be on the show or anything else like that, just let us know. And we'll talk and everything. And
Sometime we'll get you in here and you can actually be on screen with us.
Or maybe one day, I'm making this trip up to Ohio. Maybe one day,
we'll ride up there and do a show.
Yeah, ride up there and do a show from up in Ohio. How crazy would that be? Have everybody on.
All right, guys.
All right, but thank you again, Cody, for being on the show. Is there anything you just want to say bye to everybody?
Anything you'd like to broadcast to the internet?
Thanks for having me, Dom and JR.
All right. Well, I'll hit you up a little bit later, man.
Alright, yep, see you, dude.
Alright,
And all you guys out there, remember, be safe, have fun, be mellow.
Remember, watch it, subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel. That's, are we on here as the Gas Station Entertainment?
Yes.
Or the Gas Station?
We are the Gas Station Entertainment.
There you go. So you know where to find us. Facebook us at the Gas Station Entertainment also, I'm guessing. Gas Station Entertainment.
Type that shit in.
Type that shit in, exactly. So, have a great night, guys. We will talk to you again whenever we do our next episode. Enjoy yourselves.
Have a good one.